Welcome to this explainer on project cost estimation. Today, we're going to be breaking down the essential formulas and those tricky little exam traps that every single mechanical power engineering student absolutely needs to know. Let's dive in and decode this complex financial puzzle together.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll hit the basics of cost estimation, compare direct and indirect costs, look at equipment ownership versus operation, dive into mechanical applications and exam traps, and finally, wrap up with a quick quiz to test your knowledge. Let's not waste any time.
All right, Section 1, the basics of cost estimation. Let's define the core financial building blocks of literally any engineering project.
So building a final bid price, it's a very specific sequence. You're obviously not just pulling a number out of thin air when you submit a proposal, right? You build it from the ground up. Step 1 is your direct costs. Then you layer on Step 2, the indirect costs. And finally, Step 3, you top the whole thing off with your margins. That's your profit, your risk, and your financing. Add them all together, and bam, you've got your final bid price. Sounds simple enough in theory, but man, the devil is really in the details.
Which brings us to Section 2, direct versus indirect costs. To actually get a solid grip on cost estimation, we absolutely have to draw a hard line between these two expense categories.
The core divide here is all about the physical connection to the work itself. Direct costs are exactly what they sound like, expenses tied directly to a specific unit of work. Think physical materials, the guys on the ground doing the labor, the equipment on site, the subcontractors. Basically, if it physically goes into the building or the task, it's a direct cost. Indirect costs, on the other hand, these are the broader expenses you just can't pin down to one specific item. We're talking site management, temporary services, or keeping the lights on back at company headquarters.
Now pay super close attention here because this is a massive trap that catches so many people on exams. You probably assume the corporate office costs way more to run, right? Actually, site management takes a much bigger slice of the pie. It usually runs anywhere between 5 to 15% of your direct costs. Meanwhile, company headquarters sits at just 2 to 5%. Keeping that actual job site running day to day is surprisingly heavy on the budget.
Moving right along to Section 3, equipment ownership and operation. When we're talking about heavy machinery, we have to totally separate the financial burden of owning the equipment from the physical cost of running it.
Think of owning a machine and operating it as two completely different financial buckets. Your annual ownership cost. That hits you whether the machine is moving dirt or just collecting dust in a parking lot. It includes depreciation, your return on investment, insurance, and taxes. Operating costs, though, only kick in when that machine is actually working. That's your fuel, your oil, and your maintenance tied directly to working hours. Bottom line, turn the key off and operating costs stop. Ownership costs? Yeah, they never sleep.
All right, let's jump to Section 4, mechanical applications and exam traps. We're going to see how all this theory translates into concrete mechanical engineering applications. And more importantly, we'll look at the exact traps your professors are definitely going to use to test you.
Let's see how this plays out in the real, messy world of engineering. Take HVAC ductwork. You can't just calculate the exact perfect volume of sheet metal you need and call it a day. You absolutely have to factor in a waste percentage for the material lost during cutting and transport. If you ignore that waste factor, you're going to underbid and bleed money. It's the same deal with power plant pipelines. Labor isn't just some random hourly guess. You have to figure out the total amount of work and divide it by the welding crew's daily productivity. Like, exactly how many linear meters can they realistically weld in a single day? Real-world estimation is all about sweating these granular details.
Okay, listen up, because this right here is the ultimate insider cheat code for your exams. Look at the stark difference in how heavy equipment costs are calculated. For a massive piece of gear like a crane, oil costs are always calculated as a percentage of the fuel cost, usually around 15 to 25%. But maintenance costs, totally different game. They are calculated as a percentage of the original equipment purchase price, typically 20 to 30%. Professors absolutely love to test if you know which base metric to use. So whatever you do, do not mix these two up.
Here's another classic exam trap, totally forgetting the operating efficiency factor. You know, when you buy a machine, the catalog promises you this perfect, uninterrupted productivity. But let's be real, we don't work in a perfect world. The operating efficiency factor adjusts that standard catalog dream down to reality by measuring the actual working minutes per hour. So if your crew only works, say, 50 minutes out of an hour because of logistics or coffee breaks, you have to multiply your catalog productivity by 50 over 60. Skip this one little step and your entire bid just falls apart.
Section 5. Test your knowledge. You've got the insider info now, so let's put it to the test with a quick mini-quiz and see how well you've locked in these concepts.
First question, it's multiple choice. Think carefully before I give you the answer. When calculating the annual ownership cost of equipment, which of the following is included? Is it A, fuel, oil, and maintenance? B, annual depreciation, ROI, and taxes? C, site and company management? Or D, annual depreciation and operating cost? Take a second. What exactly makes up the true ownership cost of a machine?
Got your answer? If you went with B, you nailed it. The correct answer is B, annual depreciation, return on investment, and taxes. Remember, ownership is strictly about the financial burden of just possessing the asset. Fuel and maintenance from option A are operating costs, and site management from option C, that's an indirect cost.
Let's try one more to really test your focus. True or false? The financing cost margin is calculated based only on the project's direct cost, regardless of the payment structure. What do you think, true or false?
That is absolutely false. Your financing cost margin leans heavily on how the contractor actually gets paid, because cash flow is king. If a contractor is getting paid late, they have to front the money to finance the work themselves, and that costs money. So this margin depends directly on the payment method in the contract, plus whatever the current market investment rates are. It is never just some flat percentage of the direct cost. We've seen today just how incredibly precise these formulas need to be, from splitting up ownership and operating costs to nailing the exact math for mechanical applications. Which leaves us with a pretty intense question to wrap up on. If simply forgetting a tiny 2% waste factor or miscalculating an oil percentage alters the math this drastically, what is the true catastrophic cost of a single estimation error on a real-world multi-million-dollar mechanical project? The difference between a massive profit and total failure literally comes down to the tiny details we've explored today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep these traps fresh in your mind for your next big exam.